Welcome to Movies on the Side. This is Steven Robles.
And this is Nate Baranowski.
And today we are reviewing the movie Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. I feel like they didn't need to do the colon and the other title. Like, this is the first Dungeons and Dragons movie, right?
It is not the first Dungeons
it's not.
and Dragons movie.
Oh.
There was one, I believe, back in the year 2000, I'm going to say.
Year 2000. Well, okay, well, I guess, but this is not in the same universe. This is not related, right? This is its own thing.
I never watched the 2000 version, but yes,
either.
for sure, it was in 2000. I just looked it up.
All right, so this one came out just this year as we record, 2023, starring Chris Pine, and I'll just take a wild guess. Critic score on Rotten Tomatoes for Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. What do you think? Wild guess.
63.
They critics gave this movie a 91. 91%.
Well, okay.
And then audience is even higher.
96.
Well, 93. The audience gave it a 93. Apparently, both critically acclaimed and audience acclaimed. I would like to read one UK critic's review.
Yes, please.
I thought this was pretty funny. Of Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, this critic says, quote, "That vanishingly rare entity, a riotously entertaining, family-friendly film that hasn't been painfully squeezed out of a comic book franchise like the last forlorn dregs of toothpaste from a long-dead tube."
Wow.
This
is why I am not an author, and that person is.
Maybe it's because they're from the UK, but that felt like a very just wonderfully verbose review, and like totally just like, obviously they do not like the current Marvel movies that are coming out, or DC, I guess, but comparing it to a tube of toothpaste that has been squeezed, long dead tube. I thought that was excellent.
That's very, very good.
Now, Nate, I assume
we are not nearly as verbose or articulate.
Well, we might be verbose.
Unless that means the same thing, in which case we are not that.
I think verbose is like many words. You know, like... Anyway, now I assume you watched this movie because it is now on Amazon Prime streaming. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Now, I've seen this earlier, and I have rewatched it also now, just to make sure it is fresh in my mind.
Oh, you're a 2x viewer. Okay, great.
I would say like 1 in 75%. I mean, okay. I didn't watch it, end to end the second time, but I found upon reviewing, I feel like this is actually a pretty entertaining movie, and Chris Pine, of who I love from Wonder Woman and Into the Woods and all the things, he was in that true life story about the oil rig that was like in the storm or whatever.
He
the
was
Finest
Captain
Hours.
Kirk in Star Trek. He played that little
Captain
tiny role.
Kirk. Me and the kids just watched 2 of the Star Treks, which was very enjoyable. I feel like this was a good movie. Chris Pine was good in it. Every time I saw Michelle Rodriguez, I thought maybe I'm actually watching Fast and the Furious, but then I saw a dragon, and it reminded me, no, I'm not watching Fast and the Furious.
Right.
Although future Fast and the Furious movies might actually have dragons, I don't know. I feel like we're like one toke away from that.
Yeah, we're moving.
We're very close.
We're moving there.
But I enjoyed it. So you watched this even more recently for the first time. How did you feel watching this movie?
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I was delighted. I was delighted by this movie.
It was fun.
It is.
Yes.
Not amazing cinema. It is not like world-beating script or plot or anything. It's pretty
no Academy
by the
Awards.
book.
Yeah,
nope.
That's right.
But it is truly entertaining. It is really fun to have these characters go on an adventure. Yes. And it turns out that... And I have a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons background, like a little bit.
Oh, see that? Oh, I was going to ask.
I've played a little bit of a campaign one time. Oh, really? And then I know kind of through listening to actual play podcasts of Dungeons and Dragons, like I kind of know how it feels and how it looks to have, someone do an investigation roll and look into a room and be like, and now I'm going to try to use Mage Hand to open the door. Oh, it doesn't work. This feels like it takes that sort of game, puts it in a very fun cinematic world, and I felt like I was watching a group of people attempt to solve problems just like a Dungeons and Dragons group would do it.
Yes.
in a very lighthearted way. And that's the thing. This movie, very, very lighthearted until it's not. And then when it's not, it somehow lands like really heavy for a few moments.
It does land, yes.
There is a moment, and I'm not sure if it's earned. Are we spoiling this? Wait, hold on a second.
Will, spoilers for this movie. If you have not, well, actually, I'll tell you what. Wait. Actually, before we do that, I'm sorry. Just reverb. Reverbers. Play that sound backwards. Before we actually talk more about the movie, I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons alignment charts. Are you familiar with these?
No. Oh, yes. Like lawful good, chaotic good, lawful evil.
Neutral, so I'm going to include both in the show notes, and now I am texting Nate images. Dungeons and Dragons, if you're not familiar, I don't have experience playing it. I've never played the game, but I've listened to a few podcasts.
I bet you'd be a good player.
I'd probably be pretty good. So with this alignment chart, I guess is like based on, I don't know. I guess this is like the character alignment
classifications chart. Yes. For example, like when you play the game, you're like one of these.
Right. And so there are 9 designations when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons on this alignment chart. And it's think 9 squares, 3 rows of 3. And so at the very top, like the top row, you have good, neutral is the middle row, the bottom row is evil. So good, neutral, evil. And then also from left to right, the vertical columns, you go from lawful, neutral to chaotic. So for instance, you could have a character or you yourself that is lawful good. And so one of these images that I'll include and that I just sent to Nate, if you're thinking about like fictional characters in, movies and TV, Superman is the lawful good character. He is like good morally, and he operates by like following the rules. Like he is a lawful good. Then you have like all the way at the bottom right character. This is like the Joker from Batman. He is chaotic evil. So he is both an evil character and is also just chaotic. And so they also have other characters. For instance, chaotic neutral might be Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. And lawful evil might be the Darth Vader, because he is evil, but he also operates very like lawfully. He's not chaotic. Lawful.
Follows a code, follows an order.
Yes. So I would like to know, Nate.
What am I?
What do you think I am?
Ooh.
And I'm going to say what I think you are. We might have to cut out some minutes here because I do want to think about this for a moment. Maybe we think out loud. Maybe we can process out loud as we think about this.
Okay. So I feel like you are definitely not in the chaotic camp. I'd say I would knock that whole column out for you.
Sure,
you're definitely in either the lawful or the neutral.
I'm glad you did say you're definitely not good.
Now here's no one is truly good.
Well, fair. Fair enough.
So here's the thing. Here's where I'm kind of like, I feel like classifying someone as evil is a rough. Go.
The 3 evils, like on this particular chart, is Darth Vader, Joker from Batman, and the alien from like the titular Alien movie.
Yes.
So like those are evil. So I feel like, you really got to be a bad guy or bad lady to be in the evil category.
I feel like you got a little bit of true neutral in you, and this is one of the true neutral qualifications. It says, unaffected by the petty squabbles of the masses. And there is a part of you, and this one has an Ent from Lord of the Rings. And there is something there that feels like, but I think I'm going to go lawful neutral for you. That's lawful my final thing. Lawful neutral.
And the example that I see is Captain Picard from Patrick Stewart's playing.
Right, and this other one that you sent me is Boromir. No, Edward Stark, the House of Stark.
Oh, guy. Okay, lawful.
Yep.
I feel like I'm down for lawful neutral. Now for you, obviously not evil, so that cuts it down to 6. Okay, I feel like I want to lean chaotic, although I don't feel like, I'm not sure. now that you've become like a father and everything, you probably can't be as chaotic maybe as you once were. But I do feel
or is my chaos unleashed?
No,
because of a 3-year-old.
I will say I do think okay, I'm going to say chaotic good. I think that you are chaotic good, whereas at times, at least for me, like I don't know what to expect, but when something happens, it is typically good. Like I'll remember one time you came to my house. This was when we were at our old house, and like all of a sudden you disappeared for a second, and then I started hearing a piano play in the other room. It was like, I didn't expect that.
And then I amassed your children as part of my band.
Like the Pied Piper. The Pied Piper just gathers everyone, and everyone is singing. And you did it again here at the new house. You played something on the piano, and then it turned into a Greatest Showman a sing-along karaoke. And so I would say it is, at least from my perspective, more chaotic than neutral. Because it is a unexpected, kind of surprising
energy sometimes that I bring.
Yeah, but it's always good. It's a good chaotic, and so I'll say chaotic good. And
Great.
Listeners, I would love to know if you disagree, or if you feel like there is a different designation that we should be taking account of.
Yes, exactly. As you know us.
Another example of chaotic good was Robin Hood. The Russell Crowe version.
Would love to be Robin Hood. Would love to be. More of a Taron Egerton. Robin Hood is how I really see myself.
With Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox is training you. And neutral good is Spider-Man in this other example. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Out of the classifications for a second.
Okay, yes.
Let's move back to this movie.
Yes, the movie.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I want to hear from you who you would like to be in this merry band. So you have Chris Pine as Ed.
Yes.
Who is just like the planner and the bard. Does the singing.
Yep.
You have Holga, Michelle Rodriguez.
Right.
Who
the fighter.
She's like the fighter. And you know what? Cool fight scenes.
Fight scenes. Very cool.
You have Simon, who's the wizard.
Yes. You
have Doric, who is shape-shifting into
She's
different
pretty
animals.
Cool. She is pretty cool, I have to say.
Pretty cool. You have Forge, who I guess is just the bad guy, but what was he? Just a regular thief? Remember what his... Hugh Grant.
Yeah, he was a trickster. He was like a con man.
And then you have Regé Jean Page, who plays Zenk, who is both infinitely cool and also infinitely corny. And I love his...
But he
I love him walking over that rock.
His fight scenes are
as he
epic,
walks away. Yes.
I mean, very good. He can fight.
By the way, one of the names thrown out in the James Bond search, and I wouldn't be mad, is Regé Jean Page.
Regé Jean Page. I would be totally in support of that. I think he would be an excellent James Bond. Now,
but like what who do you want to be? Like what powers do you want to be? You're in a group. Now, I'd like you to answer two different ways. One, if this was real and you had these powers, and two, if you were playing a Dungeons and Dragons. Man, it's hard for me to say that
Dungeons
altogether.
and Dragons?
Yeah.
You do it with an apostrophe N. Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
like in and out. Dungeons and Dragons.
If you were playing in and out,
right.
Also, what would you go as if you're choosing your character from like a character selection sheet?
For that, I'd probably go with the Chris Pine character. Like I would like probably my hand in the plans and maybe leading the merry crew. But if I was choosing who to be in real life, I am not so unaware of myself that I would say I could be Regé Jean Pierre. Although I think he's like the person to be. Did I say his name right?
Regé Jean Page. You said Pierre at the end, which is you made it more French.
I made it even more. I made it sound even cooler because that's how cool he is. No, I would be. I think and would like to be the wizard character, the guy who's making the portals, and he was very cool in the last fight scene. I'll just say that. Very very cool. That's who I would like to be. And this might be from seeing Merlin even as a kid, which I want to do that now for some reason. I want to talk about... You want
to do that. Okay, we'll do it.
Okay, but what
we
about
just got to find out where that movie is somewhere. I think I have to go with Doric. I have to go with the animal transformation. The shape-shifting.
Wait, for who you would choose playing or who you would be in like real life?
No, who I would want to be in real life would be the shapeshifter.
Okay. You really like Moana.
Playing the game.
This is all because you really like Moana.
Is that what it is? No, it's because I like Sword in the Stone, the old Disney movie.
Was there shape-shifting in there?
Where Merlin can turn into different animals.
Oh, he turned into different things. Okay.
But anyway, I would choose the wizard for the actual play.
The dungeons thing. Okay.
I would choose.
I've never played, so I don't know.
Ranged attacks is really where I'm at.
I see. Okay. I've never seen... Or Animorphs. Did you read Animorphs when you were a kid? I don't know if we were talking about this.
Yeah, once or twice.
Once or twice. I read that series cover to cover.
Oh,
and the extra.
I did not do that.
And the anthologies and the prequels.
All the lore.
Yeah, I did all. I know about the Yerks. I know about Tobias. I know
which
about
Animorph would you be?
Well, you can be whatever animal you touch. You can be whatever. That's the thing about Animorphs. As long as you have touched an animal and like assumed its DNA or whatever, then you can become that animal.
So Hawk. Is he saying Hawk?
I mean, I would do something that flies, but I feel like for like a power move, you'd want to be like a gorilla, some large ape. I think.
Which Ninja Turtle weapon would you have?
See, now I'm glad we got into this. This is a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want. Well, man.
Oh man.
As cool as Donatello is, I feel like just holding a stick is just not. It's not doing it for me.
Should we just make our new? Hold on a second. Let me just write this down on a piece of paper. So some people have Myers-Briggs. Okay. We're going to have
Dungeons & Dragons alignment charts.
The MOTS.
Oh, this is good. Wait a minute. This is good.
The MOTS personality test.
MOTS personality? Nate, this is a profit. This is how we become millionaires, Nate.
This is how we do it, for sure. Okay, so the first question is of course...
Ketchup on fries or mayonnaise?
No, the first question, of course, is what animal you do. And you have the options there are falcon. I'm just doing it real quick. Falcon, lion, gorilla. How did you know gorilla was next? And
beaver. Yeah.
FLGB is your first one, and then on the second one you have your Ninja Turtle. We're gonna say. I think we'll say. Right? Yeah, weapon, but we'll just choose the names of them.
Yeah, right.
Ninja Turtle.
Okay. Yep. So you got Leonardo.
And then, so you have Raphael, who has.
The size. Yeah. PSI, I think. No, I don't know what that's pounds per square inch. You got Raphael. You got Leonardo with the sword.
Yeah.
You got Donatello with the stick.
Michelangelo has a nunchuck.
Michelangelo has the nunchucks.
The nunchucks. So that's RLDM.
Staff is a much more dignified word than stick.
Yeah, he has the stick.
Okay, yeah.
Michelangelo has the nunchucks. So that's RLDM. And then the next one.
What Dungeons and Dragons character would you be? Would you be the Chris Pine character, the shapeshifter, the wizard, or the fighter?
We'll go the D&D question is W for wizard.
There you go. Yeah.
B for bard, which is the Chris Pine.
Right.
F for fighter.
There you go. And then shapeshifter.
And S for shapeshifter.
This is very good. So now we're gonna. So I got to make a website. Is that what you're saying? I got to make this personality test into a website.
And then finally, it's the
fourth question. Okay.
Well, of course, you got to have the fourth one to kind of determine.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Got to get an average. What is the fourth? Are you writing the fourth question now? What's happening?
No, the first is barbecue choice.
Oh my word! Wait, like barbecue sauce?
No. Barbecue choice. No, because we're a dry rub family. If you listen to our bonus episodes, Stephen, while I write this down, where can people listen to our bonus episode? We talk about dry rubs.
We talked about dry rub. We talked about my travel stories. We talked about. It was such a good bonus episode. It was like 35 minutes long. You can go to patreon.com/movies on the side or directly in Apple Podcasts. You can subscribe there and you access all the past and current bonus episodes. Today was a very good one, let me just say. And so now Nate is, I think he's writing food item.
C for cheeseburger, B for brat,
this
H
is the
for hot dog.
The food you would choose at a cookout. That's what this question is.
And I think we'll just go, we already have C for cheeseburger. How do I get chicken in there? Drumstick. I guess we'll just do a D for drumstick.
D for drumstick.
All right, there we go. Okay. So
Okay,
let's
all
just get this all locked in. Man, this is an unlistenable episode. Here we go.
No, this is good.
Animorph. Everyone put this across. This will be in the show notes, so you'll be able to just refer to that.
He's giving me work live on the show.
Steven writes the show notes.
I need a picture of this.
Steven, Animorph.
Uh-huh.
Animorph, we have falcon, lion, gorilla, beaver. Which one do you choose?
Right. Gorilla, obviously. I'll do gorilla.
That's a G.
Yep.
Ninja Turtle would be Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello, or Michelangelo.
I'm going to go Leonardo. Leonardo with
I want the sword.
I want the sword.
GL, and then Wizard, Bard, Fighter, or Shapeshifter.
That's the Wizard.
Wizard.
Yep, we'll do that.
And then Cheeseburger, Brat, Hot Dog, or Drumstick.
Brat. That's the bratwurst.
B.
That's a B.
You have a G. You are a GLWB, which is the glob category.
We gotta write out what that means.
So each of these categories, now obviously now because there are 64 options with which.
That was a good permutation. That was a fast permutation.
I don't know if that's correct. It might be more than that.
Probably
4 to
more.
the fourth power. 4 times 16. 16 times 4
4
is 64. 64 times 4.
Probably 104, right?
Is 250.
Yeah. Sure. There's hundreds of options.
There are 256 options. All of them, Stephen will put. Each one of those will have a name that Stephen will write in the show notes.
It's not accurate. It's not happening at all.
All right. Stephen is a GLWB. We'd love for you to respond with what your personality type is.
What are you? What are you?
Mottsanality.
You got to do it. Mottsanality. Did you just say Mottsanality?
The Mottsanality test.
The Mottsanality test. Okay. Wow.
F for Falcon. I would do the Donatello stick.
You would do the Donatello stick?
Shapeshifter S.
Yeah, okay.
And Cheeseburger, so I'm an FDSC.
We could not be more different, Nate. This is why
you
are chaotic
we go
good.
Together. Yes, exactly.
I am lawful neutral. That's exactly it.
Now,
yes.
if you could, when you edit this together, if you could just put all of that at ×2 speed, and people go, "Wait a minute, are they talking super
There's no
fast?"
editing. There's no editing. That's real time, so people they could go along.
That everyone is how you come up with business ideas and a new personality test.
That's exactly
on the fly.
Are we still talking about the movie? Should we talk about the movie again?
Yes. Let's do it one more time.
Okay.
The fight scenes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say hello and welcome to Movies on the Side. No.
The fight scenes.
I
want to tell you something. I know you're not a Harry Potter viewer and or watcher.
I have not seen them.
I'm going to tell you something. It is a magical world, but for the most part, when they fight each other, people typically just point their wands and blast.
Right.
This movie actually has fun wizarding fighting.
It does.
This is the type of fighting that I wish was in Harry Potter because it's interesting, it's unusual, it's unconventional a lot of times.
Some big words. Yeah.
And I thought it was delightful.
I agree. I think, first of all, great hand-to-hand combat. Michelle Rodriguez, I feel like, there's a fight scene early on where it's just her doing everything and Chris Pine's just trying to cut his rope handcuff off. Excellent fight scenes. And I do even skip all the way to the final of battle. No spoilers yet, but, the bad person and all of them. Like you're saying, it's a great combination. You got a little magic over here. You got some fireball throwing, but then you also got some hand-to-hand and axe
some
stuff.
shape-shifty stuff. You got some trickery, some time stoppage.
I do feel like of all the shape-shifting things, she keeps going to this hawk bear.
I love owl bear, I believe.
Is it an owl bear?
I think so.
I guess it's cool because it can fly and it's
weird.
A bear.
I like that it's weird.
Yeah, I do like that it is weird. It's very different. No, that's cool. I liked it all. And what a lot of the critics were saying too is this movie is also funny. It understands it should not be taking itself seriously,
and it doesn't. It doesn't.
And Chris Pine is the perfect person to be that. He is actually just naturally funny. And then this line.
But I would really like Jonathan to be here. But
who?
That would be some Jonathan.
Oh yeah,
we really like Jonathan.
Yeah. They also were just about to pardon him as they jumped out the window. It's very but Chris Pine actually has this little the pep talk moment with him and the team after they've failed a bunch, and he says this line which is literally the movie calls it cheesy, but it's actually not so cheesy. Where he says, "We can never stop failing because the minute we do, we failed." And it's that's actually a great line.
It really is.
If you are still failing, it means you're still trying. And the moment you stop trying, that's actually the true failure. And I was like, you know what? This is a silly movie saying a silly thing. Like, even the other characters in that scene called it out for being silly, but it's actually, like, kind of deep, too. And, like, he goes on and he says more things. And, like you're saying, the moments that the movie does choose to, like, insert some actual sincerity, I feel like it actually lands. It's, like, surprisingly works really well.
Can we do spoiler horn for a second here? Because I have to talk about a deep moment.
All right, let's do we did the reverse spoiler horn, so now we're going to do the regular spoiler horn. It's a sad spoiler. All right, what do you want to spoil now?
This movie, pretty early on, has Chris Pine's wife get murdered.
Yeah.
And while she lays there dying, she points back to a cabinet where she has hidden their baby girl.
Right.
And I, since having kids, am now a sucker for one, like losing a kid in a movie, but two, losing your spouse and like trying to raise your kid who looks like them and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
That. Now, I'm not sure if it deserved this moment.
Maybe not
because
yet.
It was
early.
They bookended it with enough humor with the court case that it was it was like a palate cleanser to itself, which I thought was a good way to do it.
Unto itself, yeah, yeah.
But throughout the rest of the movie, Chris Pine is attempting to get some sort of magic that will bring back his wife.
Correct.
And part of his really deep, like, again, this movie doesn't deserve to be deep in a lot of ways because it jokes at itself, it points at itself, but much like actual D&D play, everything's goofy until it's not. And then until there's a moment where like a character dies that you were playing and it's truly sad in that moment.
Okay.
That someone that you created. But he has this super deep realization that his daughter, who he raised with Michelle Rodriguez as like the aunt figure in her life, that the daughter views Holga as her motherly figure and that he should save her versus bringing back his wife. And what a deep thing to throw into this movie, and somehow it lands.
It lands. I cried. Like it was it was actually a poignant moment because like the little cutscenes they do, I do think it earned it. I feel like it earned it, and the way they portrayed it was really good. And it was like, right, the woman that Chris Pine wants to bring back is his wife, but not necessarily his daughter's mom. Right. Actually, if he wants to bring back his daughter's mom, it is Holga, because she is the one that was there her entire life and raising her. And it was like both a self-sacrificial moment for Chris Pine, but also this like it was deep. It was a good moment. Like I give it to it. I give it to him. It was good.
Yeah, I thought now Michelle Rodriguez's character Holga is very, very dry. And I wasn't always sure that I was like super into Holga as a character.
Sure.
But her like being brought back to life and being like, why did you waste it on me?
Oh, so yeah.
While she's being hugged by the daughter is like,
it's heavy.
It's really good. Really good.
It is really good.
Hard pivot to Hugh Grant. Hard pivot to Hugh Grant.
Yeah. Oh, forget about it.
Hugh Grant I felt like he loved being in this movie.
I think so. I think he enjoyed being the bad guy.
He was just a boob in this movie.
When you realize that he's the bad guy, because you don't know that until, maybe 20 minutes in or whatever, it's like, oh, I immediately hate this guy. Like, he is the worst. And he does a great job of helping you continue to dislike him throughout the rest of the movie. he does it well. He does it great. And, yeah, it was good. I also want to...
wish... Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I wish that Sophina, who plays like the Red Wizard...
Yeah.
I wish that her overall... maybe there's some lore in D&D that I missed.
Yeah.
But I wish that her overall desire to make the world into just kind of zombie clones. I wish it was a little stronger. Or I wish she had a little bit more. Like, I believed her, like, hating working with Forge and, like, being his like vizier.
Yes.
But overall, I wish there was a little bit more to her than just pure evil down the plate evil. Which I guess in D&D, like, evil is evil. Yeah, there's literally categories for it.
Yeah.
True evil.
chaotic evil. I will say, when talking about magic and the shapeshifter character, there's actually a great chase scene where she's like escaping the castle.
So good.
And like it was like one of the best use cases of that kind of shape-shifting power throughout a chase. Like she did like 8 or 9 different animals. Like it was very like intense, like suspenseful. Like it was just a great actual use of this power in an action scene. Because I feel like most movies like don't do it well. I feel like, like those kinds of things are too weird and movies don't know what to do with it. And I thought they actually did a really good job with it. So that was fun.
This movie did not worry about being too weird. And because it did that, because it wasn't squeezed out of a tube of toothpaste, they could be more inventively creative with these scenes with this type of magic. Because I think that scene was probably the most tense I ever felt in the movie, because that character, I very much worried about her getting killed. Like I worried that she's was going to be like, a casualty along the way, and I was like, no, I really like you, I really want you to like live, and so yes, thought it was great.
Let me ask you this, kind of tangentially related. So the Scarlet Witch or whatever in this movie. It seems
the Red
like
Wizard.
The Red Wizard. At the end of the movie, we see her. It seems like she reveals her true self, where like she's like maybe have used magic to make herself look nice, and maybe this is actually what she really looks like, which is just like a horrid figure,
a husk.
And like we see this in many different movies. Like the X-Men movies has this, where like Beast tries to look like a normal human, and Mystique does that. And did you see Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
I did.
There's the bad guy in that movie also. He tries to look normal even though he's like a grotesquerie underneath or whatever. Let me ask you this, Nate.
Yes.
If you had some like horrible disfigurement, or maybe you just looked a little crazy, but you had the power to make yourself look like Chris Pine from Dungeons and Dragons, would you expend the energy to do that, or would you just be like, "This is me," Greatest Showman style?
I'm not a stranger to the dark.
And let's say, like it's not
lost my nose. They said
like the Red Skull from Captain America.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like maybe it depends on what you actually look like underneath.
Here is the true answer.
Yeah,
most people from the age of 15 to 35 probably would expend that energy. Sure. But I find myself at the fulcrum part of my life where I think self-confidence or caring what others think about my overall look is slowly that's going down.
Right.
And my "this is me" is coming up. And so I think that I would start by doing a lot of it, and then I realize this is exhausting.
Yes.
Time to show off my grotesque self.
The other day, I have a pair, because I work from home, my typical wardrobe is athletic shorts and something on top. And there is a pair of athletic shorts that I have that has an increasingly gaping hole in a not incredibly obvious place, but also not like it exists. And
dear listeners, dear sleuths out there, all you Nancy Drews, it's a pair of athletic shorts. It doesn't...
Like the question
can
of
you solve the Sphinx's riddle?
The question of I'm running to Publix, do I change shorts or not?
And you think, well, I'm never going to be seated in Publix.
I'm not seated. I'm not sitting down, and so I think I am also with you. I feel like the pendulum is slowly now swinging into the, maybe there's a huge hole in my shorts. I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Good
so
answer.
I think that's the real answer.
That's the real answer. It was the holes we made along the way. That's the truth.
I'd rather not think as much about the short holes. if that's all right.
Yeah, that's totally fine. We can move on. I like some of the 80s music they put in this, like the synth style music in the fight scenes and the hither thither staff. I feel like all of these like little things that they just were silly and put in. It was all great. All the great effect.
You know what this movie made me want to do?
Yeah,
play D&D, because doing a type of going in with your friends and trying to solve puzzles and trying to defeat enemies, and you all have a different particular set of skills, is my jam. And I hope to, as I move into my whole short period of my life and away from my we'll call it Revlon magical cover-up time of my life, I hope to be someone who can play D&D openly and unabashedly with those that I love.
Does it take a long time? Like, does a game of D&D, is it like days?
It does, but I mean that's why you break it up into like we play this campaign every Thursday night from 7 to 9 or from 7 to 8, and it may take us a year to do it or whatever. But it doesn't matter because you have a episodic adventure.
Is it like Risk, where you have to like leave whatever set up permanently to like not mess with it, or can you like?
No, most of it's in your mind.
Okay. All right. I've never tried it. I know you could play it like online. You could play online. Is this something like
that's how I played it during COVID quarantine.
Yeah, well there you go.
Zoom.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, I think we should rate this movie.
All right, let's do it.
On a scale of 0 to 5, hither-thithers. That's pretty good. Who's it? Should it be me? I don't even know who went first last time. It's been like 3 years.
You should go first.
I'll go first. I'll give this movie a solid 4 out of 5. I think this is a 4 out of 5 movie. I think there's rewatchability. I've rewatched parts of it. I think it is fun and funny. Chris Pine is wonderful. The action is very good. And, going into it, I was like, oh, Dungeons and Dragons, like this is immediately a B movie and like it's not going to be very good. And it is actually surprising, and the emotional moments are good. So I would say 4 out of 5 hither-thithers. What do you say?
I'm going to say 4 out of 5 as well. I thought it was fun. It is, you have to go into it with the expectations that I'm just here for a fun time. You're not going to be wowed by anything in particular, except if you like wizards battling, in which case I think you will be delighted because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty fun. So you can watch it now, Amazon Prime Video. You don't even have to rent it or anything. If you have Amazon Prime, you could just watch it.
It's waiting for you.
You just waiting. You know what else is waiting for you, Nate? Our bonus episodes.
Oh.
I was trying to say, if you want more MOTS content, all of our bonus episodes are just there waiting for you. Patreon.com/movies on the side, or directly in Apple Podcasts. Support us there. Listen to all of them. And as we always say, Nate is looking for a quote now from the movie. This is what he does at the end of every show.
I really like the scene where they ask the questions of the guys that had died in the battle. And they get 3 questions.
Those are hilarious. Those are hilarious. Those are very good.
Holga doesn't like to be disturbed when she's eating her potatoes. That's kind of the highlight of her day.
That set the tone for the movie right there. That was it.